Welcome. In this lesson, we're going to introduce you to the box plot, often referred to as the box and whisker plot, because what it is we have this box in the center, and then we have these two lines that go out with a little whisker on the end. Sometimes they have these, sometimes they don't, but they do have the line that goes out. Now, what box and whisker plots are basically grouping the numbers or the data that's gathered into four equal sections. Four meaning there's a fourth of the numbers that are in between the minimum value and what they call quartile 1 or the lower quartile. Sometimes it's Q1, quartile 1. There's a fourth of the numbers in between this quartile 1 and the median. The median is the middle number. Remember, median means middle number. And the quartile 3 or upper quartile, again, there's a quarter of the numbers in between here, and then there's a quarter numbers between Q3 and the maximum value. And even though there's a quarter of the numbers, that doesn't mean these are the same length, because those quarter of those numbers could be spread out. We'll get to one where they actually show you the data points, and I'll explain it a little more. Just remember that the lower whisker, this right here, is their minimum value. The minimum value for this data set is going to be 60. The maximum value is going to be 130. The middle number, the middle value they have is 90. And then the quarter value is 70, meaning the middle of the lower half. If you take the half, the lower the numbers and find its median, it's 70. If you take the upper half of the numbers and find its middle number, it would be 120. Or sorry, not 120, 110. And again, those don't necessarily mean these are the same length of interval. They could have more numbers in a smaller interval than in another of the quarter. So on this one, it says, what was the lower quartile? We're basically asking what's that end of the lower side of the box. The left side of the box is 70. So we type in 70. So write this down if this helps. And we're going to move on. And we're going to get to some that will be a little harder. But right now, what is the range of the amount of money Angie earned babysitting? Now remember, range is the largest minus the smallest. And we have those values. Remember, this upper one is the largest value. The smaller one is, or the lower one is the minimum value, and range is largest minus smallest. 60 minus 15, because there's 10, 20, that must be 15. 60 minus 15 would be 45. What was the range of the apple's weights? Again, it's asking for range. The highest value is 115. The lowest value is 75. 115 minus 75. And if you need to use a calculator, that's perfectly fine. And that gives you 40. Okay, so they're asking a lot of range questions. Range, so 63 minus 53. 63 minus 53 is going to be 20. Or sorry, 10, not 20. 10. Really? 63 minus 55, not 53. Make sure, the biggest issue with doing these graphs is making sure you pay attention and don't make simple mistakes. 54, 55. 63 minus 55 is 8, not 10. Got it. What was the fastest time? They're asking for the maximum, 360. What was the fastest time in the obstacle course? Oh, fastest time, not slowest time. Wow, Mr. Thorson's making lots of mistakes. Shame on you, Mr. Thorson. This is not the, for some reason I just faster, higher up on the graph. But this is longer time. This is shorter time. Fastest time would be the shorter time duration. So it would be 260, not 360. Again, pay attention. Don't be like me. Take the time to read carefully. What is the interquartile range? Okay, I haven't talked about interquartile range. The interquartile range is basically the range on the box part, not the whiskers. So I find the upper side of the box, which is 6, 7, 8, 7, and I minus off the lower side of the box, or that lower value, 4, 5, 6. So 5 So what's 7 minus 5? 2. The interquartile range is that length of the box. 7 minus 5 is 2. What is the lower quartile of the number of absences? Now, when they're asking for the lower quartile, they're asking for the bottom of the box, the left side of the box. It's 2. What is the least number of bus rides? If they're looking for the least number, they're looking for the minimum. That's this right here. The minimum is 50. Again, 60, 50, not 50. I almost did it again. 60, 65, 70. It's 65. Wow, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. I hope everyone's laughing at home or whoever's watching this. Again, make sure you look at the scaling. What was the most shots any player took? The most is the maximum. That's 16. All right, here's finally one that I'm going to actually take a minute to write out. What I mean by write out is I took all those numbers and I rewrote them in ascending order, including the zeros. So I want to emphasize that I made sure I did every single one of these numbers. I crossed them as I marked them or as I rewrote them down here. Because when we do the interquartile range or the box and whisker plot, what you want to do is cut them in half. In other words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 15 numbers, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right here, this 3 is going to be the median. There's 7 numbers above it. 7 numbers above it, and there's 7 numbers below it. So the 3 is the median. And if you'll notice, both of these have 3 as the median, because that's what that middle line is. The next thing I do is I take those upper numbers, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I cut those in half. So again, right here, this value is my quartile 3, or my upper quartile. And I go 3 below and 3 above the lower quartile, or quartile 1. And again, what I'm trying to emphasize is I have 3 numbers above it, and I have 3 numbers below it. 3 numbers and 3 numbers, which means this is my quartile 1, and this is my quartile 3, or upper. This right here would be my max, and this would be my minimum. This 0 down here would be my minimum. So again, now I can figure out, okay, I have a minimum of 0, which both of these have. I have a quartile 1, or a lower quartile of 1, which both of them have. They both have a median of 3. And now this upper quartile must be 5, not 4, but 5. So this is the right one. And then the max is 6. So I'm going to pick this top one. So that's what you'll need to do with these, is you'll need to write them out on a sheet of paper in order, find the middle number, and then find the middle of the bottom half and find the middle of the top half. And those are your lower and upper quartiles. Again, what percentage of the morning was the pool temperature 80 degrees Fahrenheit or higher? 80 degrees or higher. Now remember, each of these are a quarter. So 25% here, 25% there. I need to write that in there. There's 25% here. There's 25% here. There's 25% here. And there's 25% here. So when it asks what percent of the morning was the pool temperature 80 or higher, well, that's the top half. That's 50%, because it cuts them into 4 equal amounts. Where was there more variation in the amount of time Celine spent running? Now, variation means which one of these has the largest span, and what we want to emphasize is I want these that have little teeny areas. That's not much variation if these are small. If they're bigger, there's more variation. So looking at this, I would say the pink has more variation. Plus, if you'll notice, the blue starts at 25 and goes to 150, where the pink starts at 50 and goes to 200. If you'll notice, there's 2 extra. And what I'm saying is this. See how this has 2 spread here and this only has 1 here? 2 is more than 1. So the pink definitely has the more spread. Oh, where was the more variation? Oh, outside. Reading the graph carefully. Outside. That's why they have an outside here. What fraction of their games did Paul team travel 350 or fewer miles? 350 and fewer. So remember, there's a quarter here, a quarter here, and a quarter here. That's 3/4. That's 3/4. 3/4 of them, because only 1/4 was above. If you have any questions on this, please do bring them to class. And again, hopefully you were laughing at all my simple mistakes earlier. Again, put these numbers in order. Find the middle number. That should be 12. Find the upper quartile. That should be 16. The max should be 20. The min should be, looks like 6, but the median is going to be different. That's what you're going to find differently. That middle number is either going to be a 12 or a 10. So you look through here and find out which one is a 12 or a 10. Ooh, I should do this one. So I quickly wrote all those numbers in order, and I found there's 5 below and 5 above, the number 12. 12 is the median, not 10. Again, if you have questions, please bring them to class, and I will help you.